Okay, about social conditions. The places mentioned, New England, the East, and the West is the place that Willie, Birth, as well as Happy to a degree, dreamed about. Okay, because they feel that the West is just wilderness, just a green pasture, nature, countryside. It means freedom, no constraints, etc. Okay, and the South, where Birth works in, is a worse version of the West, because Birth has cannot just go out west to explore. So he works down south in a farmyard as a cowboy, and he works very hard there. Okay. So Florida, Texas are mentioned as somewhat similar to the ideal about the West. But they are also different. Okay, but both like Florida, the West, Alaska, I think they suggest the borders of the United States. If you know the history, I believe you know the history of the United States. The immigration started in the East. Well, on two coasts, actually. East Coast and West Coast. West Coast, only California. Okay, but the majority of immigrants go to the East, entering through New York, from New York. So for them, New York as well as New England get to be more developed in the 19th century. And then when they want freedom, when they want the so-called virgin land, the uncorrupted places, they go out west. 好，我们讲说西部拓荒史。This is all part of the American dream. They believe that there are endless places for them to explore. So going out west, is all part of their dream. But by the end of the 19th century, there's this theory that the frontiers is closed. Okay, 就是那个frontier 怎么讲？边疆地吗？拓荒地 is closed. Okay, there's no more virgin land. California is all very developed. After they go west, they hit California, and that's the end. Okay, that's the end of expansion. Okay, but then they go up to Alaska. And then in the 20th century, they go further to Hawaii and then to Vietnam. And then some people say that by the 60s, they go to the moon. Okay, so that's the sequence of the American dream, a continuous expansion from the east to the west, to the north, to the south, like to Central America, to Vietnam, to Africa, etc., and then to the moon. Okay, and now I think the boundaries are, the zone are in the Middle East. Okay, so all of the places are mentioned in the play with some symbolic implications. They are related to the American dream. Okay, especially to the idea of American expansionism. Okay, and also you can say that expansionism is actually a kind of colonialism, because when they suppose that they are going out to the virgin land, it's actually occupied. It had been occupied by the Aborigines. And then Hawaii, there are Hawaiians and Vietnamese, etc. They got colonized. They got controlled by the Americans for a period of time. Okay, so that's also the other side of American dream can also be American imperialism or colonialism. Yeah. Okay, so that's one aspect, and the other aspect is capitalism. With all the ideal of manifest destiny, that this is the promise of God. God promises that we'll have this earthly paradise. But then to make it, it means to work hard, to earn money. And sometimes you need to be like mean and wicked, in your ways of earning money, to beat the other people, to be tough, etc., to be competitive, acquisitive, etc. Okay, so that's the materialistic aspect of the American dream. And all of this is related to the 40s in New York. Okay, what is happening, and then how it's actually yes, after the Second World War, you know, it's the late 40s means the time when the United States is about to rise to the superpower, to be the superpower, because World War II make the whole European countries, you know, really devastated by the war. Okay, war torn. But the United States, the land itself is not was not affected, except for Pearl Harbor. Most of the lands in the United States were not affected, and that's why the time means a time for economic growth, industrial development, and also that's the time when people become even more acquisitive, even more competitive. You know, the post-war time of New York and Boston. Yeah. Okay, so this is the social condition to pay attention to. The other thing that we see also mentioned in the play is some elements of capitalism. I'm not sure if you know or not. Several of my relatives in the United States, they are in debt. I think most of the Americans are in debt because of the habit of using credit cards, and then having loans, going on government mortgage or the credit card loans, the loans from the banks, or having credits having debits on the credit card. Okay. And this we get also to see in the Lohman family, because sometimes they buy things on credit, or the so-called installment plan, 分期付款. You know, the installment plan is actually a way to seduce the consumers to buy. You know, they'll let you know that, oh, you can buy a house at 100,000 10万 you know, with the first installment. 你第一次付头期款只要付10万块就好. And then you think, oh, that's so great. And after that, you pay maybe 5,000 each month. You know, you pay by installment. You know, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So it seems to be a good plan. You know, you don't need to pay all at once. Okay, but then, you know, it means that every month you get bound to this payment. And that's what happened to Willie Lohman. Let me give you a few examples here. On page 1658. This is the past. This is, well, very soon I'll give you the plot summary, and you'll know the position of this part. But this is the past when Linda talks to Willie asks Willie what he earned in the past, and then ask him, and then she calculates to find out whether his earning can help her pay all the money she needs to pay. Okay, so let me read a little bit. After the stage erection, he and Happy carry out the basket. Have you got it? 1658, 1658. And Linda said, oh, the way they obey him. Well, that training, and let's give that to Linda. Oh, the whole block will be at a game. Did you sell anything? This is when Linda starts to ask about money. Okay. I did 500 gross in Providence and 700 gross in Boston. Okay, so that's what he earns. Okay. gross 什么意思？是 total 吗？还是 earn total gross total? Okay, so yeah, that's not what he earned, but what he'll get, but what he earned in total. No, wait a minute. I've got a pencil that makes you a commission. Yeah, 500 and 700 means the total, but what he'll get out of it is $212. 212块. Well, I didn't figure it yet, but how much did you do? Well, I did about 180 gross in Providence. Well, no, it came to roughly 200 gross on the whole trip. Okay, and then she said 200 gross, and then she calculated the commission he'll get. Okay, so this is what Linda needs to care about, needs to worry about, because later on she says that they need to pay $16 on the refrigerator because it is broken, and then a few lines down, 4 lines before the end, well, there is $960 for the washing machine. Okay, 96元. And that's the installment. Okay, and for the vacuum cleaner, there is $3.50 due on the 15th. And then the roof, you got $21 remaining. You know, so this is all about installment. You know, because they pay one amount at a time, and there is always a certain amount they have to pay for. Okay, so like in the case of my sister's family. It's something similar, you know, like at the beginning of the month, almost half of their salary will need to be used to pay for different kinds of mortgage or installment plans, etc. Okay, and then they are left with only half of the salary to use for the month. Okay, this is a different kind of spending habit from ours in Taiwan. You know, in Taiwan we don't seem to depend on loan and mortgage that much. But definitely, many house owners go on mortgage, that's for sure. But they don't. Not all of us go on mortgage for like washing machine, vacuum cleaner, etc., etc. Okay, okay. So this is the way Willie gets to be chained to the whole capitalist system. You know, however much he earns, you know, he'll have to pay back. You know, he always needs to pay back. So I think this is in Act 2. You know, he said that after 25 years, he pays off his home mortgage. Okay, but then there were still other things to pay for. Yeah. Okay, so this is the social background. I'll explain the stage direction a little bit more, and then we'll take a break. And after the break, I'll give you the plot summary. This is what Arthur Miller says. He says that in a dramatic form, a way of transforming the subjective feeling into something that can be comprehended. Any dramatic form is an artifice, and what we need to do is to find something concrete, the public symbols, to convey the subjective feelings. Okay, so I think this is an definition of what we call expressionism. Not all the plays are like this, but Death of the Salesman is in the style of expressionism. So a lot of objects like the car, the flute, etc., they are symbolic. They are expressive of the subjective feelings of Willie Loman and the whole family. So that's something you need to pay attention to, okay? And here I get some images from the internet for you to understand, because I think that the film is great for you to get the rendering of the lines, but it's not a stage. Okay, so you cannot get a sense of the stage from the film that I'm going to show you. But online, at YouTube, there is a performance which is rather good. So if you want to get a stage performance of the Death of the Salesman, I'll give you the link, and then maybe you can take a look. So this is, I think, this is a drawing, a floor plan for the way the stage can be set up. But it shows you how Arthur Miller wants it, you know, through the first stage direction. That there is a house at the front, and then apartment buildings at the end. at the back. Okay, and then apartment buildings are gloomy, and this house is in blue color, and it looks fragile. Okay, and the center of the apartment building is the center of the house is the kitchen table, because a lot of discussion happen in the kitchen table, and the kitchen this table is like the center of the whole family. Okay, and upstairs there is Bev and Happy's room, and at the back you don't see that. This is a stage, an actual stage of the play. The kitchen table, yes, and then there's a curtain there, and the curtain through the curtain you go into there. It suggested that the space after it is the the bedroom of Willie and Linda, and then the two brothers' living spaces are here. No, because probably in this stage they don't build a second floor, so they put the living room here, the bedroom of Biff and Happy here. Okay, so that's a kind of free rendering of the stage, and this is another example. Remember, at the first stage direction, they talk about the apron. Actually, apron is just the protruding part of the stage, but it doesn't seem that they use apron in this stage, but they carve out the house, the shape of the house here, and with no wall. Okay, so you know that this is the backyard. Okay, and when they go through the invisible wall to the backyard, it means going to the past. Okay, another sign of going back to the past is that in the background we don't see the apartment buildings, we see green leaves. That's another sign of the past. Okay, and when Willie, this is also, so this is his memory space. Okay, and this is also his memory space. This is where the woman appears. Okay, yeah. So about the stage direction, the one-dimensional roof line definitely suggests how the house is weak and powerless in front of the apartment buildings and also the skyscrapers. So that shows how the city is fast developing, and there are more and more people, and this house will later be torn down, maybe turned into an apartment building. Yeah. Okay. Yes, kitchen, the center of the family. And then there is also a description of this trophy. I think the trophy appears on top of a bed. Okay. So silver trophy is also an element of the dream. The flute is something I'll need to discuss with you more later on. Okay, and the blue sky suggests the desire for freedom, but then the angry orange suggests the constraint of the city. Okay, let's take a break.